We are live and direct. Greetings, everybody. How are you doing? It looks like, at least for the start, it's only going to be me. It does look like that. Billy has got commitments in Barrow. He's there at the moment. And Katie is... Oh, Katie is somewhat predisposed. So I guess it may change as it goes, but it may just be me. So I do apologise. Fake news, inviting everyone and his dog ends up on me jackies. That wasn't the intention. So I do apologise for that. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. Thank you for taking the time out, whatever you've been doing under these crazy circumstances. It is absolutely crazy with all the anxiety and frustration that's already floating about, to then hear about stories like this that we know there's truth in it up and down the country, but to be displayed overtly in your face, knowing that there'll be some truths and lies on both sides. The point of the matter is, where I'm looking at it from is particularly the family's perspective and the survivor's perspective. I'm trying not to get involved in too many other people's arguments or theories or comments on it, and just literally be sticking to what they've been saying. So, yes, Marco Palico, how you doing? Yes, Gaz Triller, how you doing, guys? Thank you very much for dropping on. Thank you. The weather is gorgeous here. I don't know where it is where you are in Canada, mate, but it's absolutely gorgeous here. A lovely, lovely evening we've got. So I'm just going to let it build up a little bit. But what I will do in the meantime is do this. Red Pill Phil on YouTube.
So they're the opposite of the free press.
We did it like that, and now we do it like this. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
They claim to fight for liberty, but they're authoritarian as they come. So they're the opposite of the free press.
We did it like that, and now we do it like this. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
Yes, thank you, Red Pill Phil. Firstly, I'd like to express gratitude for the courage of the individuals concerned who have spoke out. Couldn't have been easier. Looking at it from their position, where they must be at, must have been frightening, daunting. And let's face it, there's somebody's daughters. So there's parents, there's probably sisters, brothers, in-laws, goes on and on, who have been affected by this. From the looks of it, at least the first initial queries to the police in regards to this was 2017. Later in January 2018, and then also in 2019. So it's looking at it, I'm a father, I've got two daughters. One is actually within the age bracket of one of the ladies, Ellie. Now, both survivors that I've got certain bits that I can show tonight. Both survivors are called Ellie. I'm kind of flabbergasted in a way that this is the 21st century. And in the 21st century, we've got a failing system on so many grounds that kind of does this, you know, or allows this to happen. And then when it happens, you not only have survivors of the abuse, but then second time round, they're getting abused again by the system that's supposed to help them. And then it becomes a political ping pong match then, doesn't it? Yes, everybody, 32 Celsius. Man, I don't know how you deal with that, sir. I don't know how you're dealing with that, but it sounds gorgeous. Sounds like you could fry an egg on the floor. Good evening, Red, White and Black. Yes, Neil, thank you very much. Had a good one. Thank you. Yes, no, none but ourselves can free our minds. You're right there. Hi, Phil, brother. How you doing? Yes, Sarah. Who else we got? Strong Angel, Aphrodite Blighter, Ryan John. Yes, it's constructive treason, Phil. Constructive treason. It's treacherous. It's betrayal. It's deceitful. It's sinister. You can't jump to conclusions and blame the whole system. You can't jump to conclusions and blame the whole police service. You can't blame the whole governmental system. What you can do and what you can ultimately prove is that time and time again, we have failings to a degree where we have what is regarded as survivors. So that's not good. No way is it good. Thank you, Aphrodite, mate. That's all good. All good. You know, I was just heard about this story from a lovely lady called Lindsay Brown, who got in touch with me, reached out through Facebook. And when I heard the story, I knew Katie had covered it a few days ago, but I'd not had a chance to watch the initial stream. So, yeah, once I did have a perusal of it, the mind boggles. It validates. So it should give you a sense of, right, that's the final smoking gun, and that's the proof. But then you've got the bittersweet, you've got survivors. Imagine what it's like for them having to post this. Imagine how desperate they must be. Imagine the hurt they've gone through to circumnavigate all the systems that supposedly tried to help them and gone, well, fuck this, pardon my French. I'm going to post it because not a lot is happening, to the point where one of them ended up in jail on perverting the course of justice. Now, from what I hear, there's more to that. And I've got a few little bits of stills and few initial posts made by probably people very close to these survivors, if not the survivors themselves. So there's somewhat a lot of vindication with the post per se. Like I say, I'm not going off other people's stories because I know this will be the time now where a lot of people will be spreading a lot of stuff. You will be getting a lot of people that want to jump on a bandwagon because it's there to be shouted out. Though, unfortunately, you will be getting people that will try and monopolize off this, both financially and for their own initial platforms. Now, first of all, I don't receive any money at all. I don't have a PayPal and I don't ask for any form of money. I work. I've only recently just got back to work because I was on a lockdown. So I won't go cap in hand. All the work I do is out of my own pocket, whether it be time through making videos or time going out on the road. Even traveling expenses comes out of my own pocket. But I have to say I've not traveled in a good while. So the only motive I've got is really wanting to help people and to spread the message of people that need a voice, but trying to put that voice out in a balanced way, not try to get on here, scream and shout and start jumping to conclusions and start letting it fill my own conformity bias and start then letting it create or just get involved in a vacuum that is being created. I'm not about that. As anyone will know, the direction of this channel, I'm moving more away from the echo chamber, from that vacuum, because I've appreciated over the months, it's venomous, it's malicious, it's vindictive, and the last thing it does is help survivors. Okay, so I've already picked the people that I feel that are close to me, that are dear to me, that have got a like-minded soul and like-minded on an intellect and how they want to achieve it as well. You know? Yes, McTavish. McTavish. Marco, you don't have to thank me, dude. You don't have to thank me. I thank you. Thank you for probably watching me with my ups and downs, and my ups and my downs and my levels, and what the fuck's he doing that for? What the fuck's he saying that for? Pardon my French. You know, all this was about wanting to help people. Now, if other people had the same thing in mind, it would be great, wouldn't it? It would be great. It would be great. People who set the children up make a lot of money. Possibly. Yes, hey Phil, been a while, brother. It's probably been a few weeks since I've done a stream, pal. Yes, certainly. I've just been keeping out of all the craziness, pal. Getting on with it. Also, I had my birthday coming up and just making sure my family were good. I had work coming round the corner as well. So yes, some people are totally toxic. If people do not want to help, then try should their hate. Hold on. Can't read. Keep their hate to themselves. Yes, sorry for my bloody butchering of that comment. It doesn't help. I had 3 comments 2 hours before I scheduled this stream. One was by it was 3 comments. One was by one person. 2 comments was by another person. The 2 comments was never. Don't know what that meant. The second comment was, you're only in it for the money. The third comment was, PA are all over this. So makes you think, okay, it's going to be one of them fruity nights. So that's why I've had to take 12 minutes out to kind of explain my position and get back to the central position about what I'm about to talk about. Is not about me as an ego, because I couldn't give a fuck. I've actually pulled away from being in the limelight. I could stream every day of the week, talk bullshit if you want, but I only come on when there's actually to serve a purpose. So I'm not here to incite. I'm not here to rattle anyone's cages. But what you may see tonight, you may see people jumping in primarily to do that, to be toxic and to stop ultimately other people trying to express their message. Now, in a world where these same people talk about freedom of speech, it's somewhat hypocritical, wouldn't you say? You know what I mean? Human beings spreading the love. You've spread the love and I'm spreading it back. Yes. Do you want to put some music to that Phil Scott? Yes. Yeah, why not? Should make a trolling rap, shouldn't we? But anyway, thank you very much. Honestly, I'm so blessed to have just great subbers. Great Brit constantly tells me, mate, your subbers are some of the most chilled out, level-headed, rational thinking, not quick to jump in there with spikes. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that, because what I tend to notice, unless you get some really toxic shit that floats in, yeah, through the comment section, like a fart through underneath the door. You know what I'm saying? That's my definition of a troll. It's a fart that squeezes underneath the fucking gap underneath the door, yeah? And you're like, just choking. Unless they intervene, everything just flows. Everyone's happy. And everyone are either talking to themselves, having nice, civilized conversations, or they're listening and engaging with what I'm talking about. Either way, loving it. It seems like if you speak out, you're punished. Just like me, I spoke out when I was a child. Stardust thing I ever had to do and was put into adult mental institution. Yes, Laura, we spoke about that. We have spoke about that, haven't we? And I've seen the treatment that's happened to you over the months as well. And I hope you're good. I hope you're in a good place. Thank you for jumping on. And hopefully, Laura and I will be on a stream where we'll have a nice little stream, have a little chat. Shared on Ellie's groups. Oh, well done. Thank you. And a great Brit, mate. Great Brit. I sent you a link before. Was it like a GoFundMe to Ellie's campaign? If you could stick that on, mate, that would be awesome. So like I say, I'm not earning no money from this at all. One thing I would like to say before I start, the way I'm going to cover this, I am going to cover it like I'm hoping the families concerned will appreciate what I'm trying to do, even if I fuck it up as the night goes. And I'm hoping the survivors themselves will appreciate what I'm trying to do. To be honest, I'll be totally honest with you. That's all I give a shit about. So comments are comments. You know what I mean? I am worried, not worried. I am concerned about the way I handle this, that they won't be happy. Yeah? Because they've been through enough shit, pardon my French, without random YouTubers popping up and making the matter worse. And I do not want to do that. And I will say it in advance. If I do unintentionally do that to anyone, I will profusely apologize. That's all I can say. Yeah? Because I'm not about that. Okay, even if you were Phil, so what? People can donate. Yeah, I know, mate. I know, but I don't want money. I'm not about that. I'm not about that. You know what I mean? Not asked. Maybe one day. But at the moment, I've got a job. I'm doing all right. Got 10 fingers, 10 toes. This is not my living. To kind of generate a living from it seems a little bit wrong, but I appreciate some people, if that's what they do and they put so much work and effort and time into it, then why the fuck not? The only problem I've got with that is if they're doing that, same again, have a freaking moral compass with what you're doing. Don't be taking people's money and then what you are putting out is actually creating more shit than you'd actually try to solve. It's not cryptic. I'm not talking about anyone in particular. I'm just saying the emotions I felt. Fucking hell, pardon my French. Seriously, I'm really wary about everything I say on here now because I don't want to piss on anyone's chips. And I'm not talking about trolls. I'm not talking about sitting on the fence. Because I'm dealing with survivors, because you're dealing with people who have had abuse or got near to abuse or know people of abuse, you've got to be very mindful of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at. I know the streets are full of victims, stroke survivors of abuse. Just talk, stroke help, some if you can. Yes, and some may not want that. Some may not be ready. And even when they are, you've got to tread very carefully. You can't just roll in, grab what you want from them and leave them there. You know what I mean? And I certainly wouldn't want to have a PayPal while I'm interviewing survivors. That would seem wrong. You know what I mean? The thought of a survivor having a moment, an episode, because of comments that come through a comment section from a stream that I held, but yeah, I've got a PayPal account that's receiving money because I'm professing to be helping survivors. Imagine that. Proper shit. So I'm a non-profit organization. That's me. Red Pill Phil, make no fucking money. That's me. Don't want to. What brew you on, Phil? I'm on coffee. It's got to be the old coffee, which is rather cold because I've been gabbing. Right. Okay, yes, Stefan. Hit them goddamn likes. Yeah. What can I say? Hit it like. I don't even want to go there. Hit it like you're having fun in the bedroom with your missus. Slap that little bottom. Tappity tap. That's the only hit I mean. I don't mean abuse. I'm on tappity tap. Little friendly frolics. Yes, how did my birthday go? My birthday went fine. Thank you, Stefan. It went absolutely great. Social distance with a few family members. My wife spoilt me rotten. Got a few presents. And they also simultaneously reminded me, instead of a glass half full, as in, you know, you're a young 50, Phil. It was the glass half empty for 14 days, as in, you're getting old, Phil. 50? Can't believe you're 50. You know what? Next year, you're going to be 51, Phil. I had that for 2 weeks, but it was worth it. Great family, loved it. Content like yours, Phil, does not sit well with the powers that shouldn't be. PayPal, Patreon wouldn't drop you as soon as you, as you go. You're against the narrative. You go against the narrative. Thank you, Nicky the Rocket Locket. It's a moral compass driven channel. That's it. That's all. You know, I never wanted to start this channel. This was never my intention. Never. I only started this because that crazy shit that went viral a couple of years ago. And when I went and done a few shows with a brilliant chap called Peter Sweden, everyone in the comments section saying, Phil, open your old channel up. Come on, Phil, we want to hear what you've got to say. Open it up, open it up. So I did. It was not for me. It wasn't all of a sudden, yeah, I'm gone viral. I'm going to do it now. No, I fucking hid in the kitchen the day I found out. My God, I'll never forget making beans on toast, right? Watching a stream of Peter Sweden talking about the after event, and everyone is talking about that black guy in Manchester. What was his name? What was this? What was that? At that moment, he didn't know because I just fucked off, yeah? So I'm stood there in the kitchen, buttering my toast. Peter Sweden's saying to the people that are commenting, well, I don't know who he is. I hope he's going to get in touch. At that point, I'm thinking, for fuck's sake, pardon my French. And then everything spiraled. I got in touch with him. We had a second interview, blah, blah, blah. All the rest is history. Fucking hell, I've been up and down and round the goddamn mountain since then. It's been crazy. Yes. Oh, I've no idea. Right. Yes. Yes, Tina. Well, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. And I hope you have a good one. Make the best of it. Enjoy the time you've got. Contemplate. And looking by your JPEG, you don't even look 51. You don't. You look amazing. So you enjoy yourself. Have a good bloody time. Forget about all the shit that's going on in the world. You've got one day to do it. Yeah? Be close to your family, your nearest and dearest, and make the bloody most of it. Don't think about what you could have been doing on your birthday. Think about what you can and should and will be doing. You know what I'm saying? Phil, you look... What? Phil, you look 30. The coffee keeping you young. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Well, if I get closer to the screen, I think it'll tell its own story. Why do you think I do that? Yeah? I look about 25 now, don't I? If I pull it out there, probably about 18, yeah? And then as it goes in, 24, 28, 32, 44, 48, shit, 50. Anyway, fucking about here. Pardon my French. Right, so sorry, you're going to get mad bounce from me. So thank you anyway for everyone dropping on, right? Let's get on it. Let's get on this shizzle, yeah? Because it looks like I'm on my jackies. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop out of the comment section for a little bit now because I find it hard to actually put in these little inserts and navigate the comment section. So to tar for now, obviously you keep commenting and I'll try and get back to you a little bit later, but we've got a lot of stills to get through. So let's get on this, okay? So firstly, let me put the background to this, okay? Right. Hold on, let me get rid of that comment because we don't need that, do it? Where you gone? Right, let's get rid of that. There we go. Okay. Right, sorry about this, guys. Anyone would think I know what I'm doing. Right. Most of you will probably know. This is concerning a girl called Eleanor Williams, otherwise known as Ellie Williams. She's currently on remand, apparently for perverting the course of justice. Now, there is a backstory to that, but what I will say, whatever I'm going to cover now, let's think of the family here, guys, okay? So when you're responding, when you're putting comments out, please bear that in mind, that if the family get to read this, I want them to see nothing but positivity here and support and strength, really. You know, we don't need anyone running off on their own kind of tangent with this. The people that you should be worrying about is obviously the ladies concerned. So with that, this is the initial statement that Billy obviously reposted. Statement today by Cumbria Police. Cumbria Police have confirmed that an investigation ongoing into an incident, physical and sexual abuse that was reported yesterday evening, which was obviously the 20th of May, must have been. The constabulary are aware of the post issued by a member of the public earlier today on social media concerning the incident, which was reported to have occurred in the Barrow in Furness area. Detective blah, 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 head the crime safeguarding in Cumbria, constabulary said. The constabulary is aware of a post which has been circulated on social media concerning reports of physical and sexual abuse committed against a woman aged in her teens. Right, so they're pretty much aware of it. Okay, so this is something else that I picked up. Now, this is a post, same again. What you will see here has already been disseminated online by the said people. So I'm not revealing anything that has not already been revealed, okay? Now, this is, I do believe this is a sister of Ellie, okay? Now, you can tell by this post that Ellie is obviously been apprehended, so a sister is decided to just go ahead and post. Since my sister Ellie Williams doesn't have a voice at the moment, I'm going to be it for her. So I'm sure everyone is now well aware of what's happened to Ellie and so many other girls within this area being Barrow in Furness, including Ellie Ann Reynolds. Now, I will get to that lady later, who has already bravely spoken up as well. Okay, and then it goes on with this is the same post. First up, I want to make it very clear that Ellie did not get arrested for all the reasons everyone is saying. Ellie had a curfew for her own safety as she was constantly getting taken out of Barrow and going missing for a few days on end. The curfew meant Ellie was not allowed out of the house. So it's almost like the curfew was put in place to protect her. Now, that seems a little bit weird, but I guess if that's the only way they can deal with it, I guess that is better than nothing. But you think the best way to protect is to apprehend the people that are doing this. But I don't know. I'm not going to cast aspersions here. Maybe a sister feels that that was the right thing to do, but that is exactly what this sister is saying anyway. The curfew meant Ellie was not allowed out of the house from 7 p.m. till 7 a.m. On Tuesday, when Ellie wasn't home for 7 p.m., we started to become worried about her and contacted the police as she'd been missing before, but not for weeks. Now, due to the lockdown, Ellie was found by the police. She was taken. It'd be interesting to know where she was found, but she was taken to the hospital with serious injuries by the police. The police stayed with her at the hospital to take a statement off her when Ellie was discharged from the hospital. While the police were still with her, what I can't work out is why was she not arrested there and then like she should have been yet, because if she was perverting the course of justice, she'd done it at that point, not later on down the line. But same again, I'm not going to jump to conclusions because maybe this will come out, but that is an anomaly. So why did it change later on down the line? It's almost like they've gone to support her, but then they've gone round to arrest her later on down the line. Right, okay. Why was it the next day when she had posted what has been happening to her all this time? After the post blew up and so many people shared it within an hour later, did the police come and then arrest her? Now, she might have a point there. Is it a coincidence? Is it actual fact? Who goddamn knows? But it doesn't look good, does it? It doesn't look good. And I think we know that there's failings, and I think we know that the police surely should have done better with this, particularly with the post of the physical abuse that young Ellie Williams received. You can't imagine what it'd be like for your own daughter to have had that done to her by anyone, particularly if it's been prolonged psychological attack as well as physical attack. So that's my take on it. That's why I kind of felt I had a lump in my throat and I wanted to talk about it. Ellie, my family and close friends of Ellie have been shouting about this for so long, reporting every time she came home hurt. Every time she went missing and nobody wanted to listen. We've been told to keep posting all over social media so the situation can no longer be ignored. As Ellie cannot do this, I will. I am not going to stop until somebody helps Ellie. So that's why, and the rest of the girls who are involved. It took Ellie's first post to go viral for people to start taking her seriously. Now, it probably, yeah, it's one thing I've always noticed when you post issues of survivors, you wonder why it doesn't go viral. You wonder why an interview with a survivor, when they tell you what the survivor's gone through, you wonder why. But there's a multitude of reasons. Probably some people are emotionally and consciously inept. So they find it hard to confront these situations. Now, I've known mothers of survivors and fathers of survivors be emotionally and consciously inept when dealing with what is their son and daughter who has now become a survivor. So there's many reasons why the outside world don't get it. You know, we're all kind of preoccupied and people just don't want to look. If it's not happening to them, why should they look? And I guess this family were the same until it happened to a degree, and you won't blame them for that. Right. Start talking. Even though she had most of the public behind her, the public who need to listen the most still won't take her seriously. Ain't that the truth? Isn't it a strange world when you get people that will come out and actually say, "Oh, did you do that to yourself?" when you're talking about the injuries, or when you say that, "Well, he was your boyfriend, wasn't he?" Kind of negating the fact that boyfriend or long-term groomer. Long-term groomer who's monopolizing on a vulnerable situation. It depends how you want to word it. I guess it's all about semantics. I guess the only person you can ask as to whether it was a boyfriend or girlfriend is the actual survivor. You know what I'm saying? I've had permission from the girls who have kindly shared some of their stories, so more have come out with me to post screenshots on here. So many girls have opened up already who do not want their stories posted yet, all down to Ellie posting her story and being so incredibly brave for doing so. So you've got to agree with that, how brave they are, and anyone who handles this story has got to bear that in mind. Now, this is what I was going to show at the end, but this is the end point out of everything. Look, yeah. Is there a gang of Asian men in battle sexually exploiting women? Our investigation has shown that it's not being corroborated. Police chief says no evidence of gang of Asian sex abusers in battle. So no matter what this girl says, then that's the headline. Yeah. So that's what this lady's talking about. That's what they've got to work with. So you can imagine. I'm well aware of some of these photos do not make sense as I cannot post names or full conversations, but some of the things that have been said are disturbing and absolutely heartbreaking. These images are all being taken off Ellie's phone. A lady also put a post on a while back warning everyone about what was happening. Nobody listened to her. I've got her permission to repost this. Neither myself, my family, or Ellie have hold a whole race accountable for a small group of people's actions. Please do not take this post the wrong way. The individuals are to blame, not the whole race. Now, I've got to say, okay, that's a sister, isn't it, Lucy? What am I trying to say? What type of person, after everything that happens to a sister that she's seen happening by individuals on a repeated basis, she's still got that nature within her where she's not going to blink, she's not going to have blinkers on, she's not going to blanket the problem. And this is a survivor's sister. There's been firsthand with a sister who's seen the effects of what has happened to, you know, in terms of grooming, how it can affect someone, and her own sister. I've seen people on a comment section not handle it in that way. And this is where I have so much admiration for survivors and family of survivors. And this is what I constantly tell people on my comment section when they lose the shit, when they're saying ban Islam and everything's the go-to. Islam's the go-to because of a few dickheads that follow Islam as a faith, yes. But then you cannot castigate, you know? That is the common sense and the rationale of this. And if you stick on that, you've got more chance of people on the outside world going, I'm up with you because I'm up for getting the bad. And that is it. It's the bottom line. If you're going to go all down the dark route of it, you're going to lose people and you're going to lose survivors because no survivor is going to want to come on your platform when you're trying to make it all about bashing a fucking faith. And that's the bottom line. People might not want to hear that. Tough shit, the way it is. Pardon my French. And so I love it. I love the way she's just laid it out and she's ended it with that, you know. So apparently, thanks to Great Brit, this is a Twitter post from family, a message from Ellie's stepfather to the people of Barrow and everyone of you who have shared and continue to share her story. Okay. Now my eyes are going here, so you'll have to bear with me. Been reading loads and loads of comments offering support. We as a family really appreciate it. The gathering tonight brought tears to my eyes and my wife's. We are so humbled and overwhelmed. Thank you very much, you kind people of Barrow, in fairness. So obviously the community spirit has come straight out to support. Brilliant. We need to keep this anger up and fight for not only our Ellie, but Ellie Reynolds, same again, we'll talk about her a little later, and all of the other girls that have now come forward, 9 to date. So going back to when they said there's no evidence, yeah, so 9, are all these 9 liars? And all have been through similar to what our Ellie has been through. Cumbria police saying no evidence of grooming in Barrow. Needs to wake up. Those peefers, is it? Those peelers? Sorry, I can't see that word properly. My eyes are going. Those in responsible positions that are brushing themselves, and I can tell you this, we, the people of Barrow, in fairness, will not let this go. We will rise against you and we will overcome you to prove just how incompetent you actually are. We do not have any competence in you, or I guess that's going to say confidence, but it does actually say competence. So there's the feelings of the family expressed, okay? Right, so same again, this is where I wanted Billy, and this is where I wanted Kater, because Billy thankfully sent me a bundle of intel. And in the intel, this lady was in it as well. Now, at first, because the initial story was about Ellie Williams, I was a bit perplexed, although it had the same hashtag underneath. So I'm like, okay, is this where I could possibly get it wrong and confusing the two? And then it turned out it was 2 different ladies. Now, this is a lady that I do believe, I may have it wrong, I believe she spoke up after she heard of the original Ellie Williams' plight. Now, how long this has been going on with Ellie and Reynolds, we'll hopefully find out. Whether it was the same people, I guess hopefully we will find out. But certainly this lady resonated with Ellie Williams' story so much that she decided to come out herself. So same again, all I can do is thank the courage of anyone who's got the balls after having this happen to them to come out. I seriously do. So this is her post. Okay. Now I've missed the top bit, so I think I've done it on purpose because I basically just wanted to get it from a certain section. So, okay, just bear with me. Bad habit, do apologise. Right, so basically the police shrugged me off, basically told my family I was nuts until an NRM came to light. Now, this is where it gets funky now, okay? Bearing in mind the police, no evidence, right? No fucking evidence, okay? So keep that in your head. NRM came to light. And NRM is a national referral mechanism. They specialize in human trafficking. They can give you a result, a negative, meaning they can see beyond reasonable doubt why you weren't believed. A positive, meaning beyond reasonable grounds, they believe the police shouldn't have shrugged you off. The email in these photos attached is intact, is in fact my NRM, which I've got it here. Now, same again, this lady posted it, okay? So I'm not revealing anything to the world that this lady decided that she didn't want to reveal herself. And our decision part was exactly what apparently isn't around here now. How? The other attachments are to them trying to make false accounts 2 years later received in these January, admitting that they had done to me to still try to terrorize me. You ask why the victims can't just ring the police and just get away with it. Okay, so going back to that, this is what someone else had posted. Same again, thank you to Great Brit for receiving this. On the 25th of November, so this is corroborating, this is why I'm putting this on. Without probably Ellie's testimony, you kind of look at this and you put, well, any clown, pardon the pun, could put this up. But now you look at it, it's like, okay. On the 25th of November 2019, Ellie has been recognised as potential victim of sexual exploitation and human trafficking under NRM mechanism. Any further investigation, she's been granted positive conclusive decision stating that she is a victim of sexual exploitation and human trafficking. After further investigation, she's been granted positive conclusive decision stating that she is a victim of sexual exploitation and human trafficking. Now, yes, we are talking about the 21st century. We're not talking about cages that are in fucking tunnels in Calcutta. We're talking about Barrow in Furness, which is in the United Kingdom. So when people like to say to you, you're talking shit, you're blowing it out your arse, Phil, all this grooming stuff, you know, paedophiles are all over the place, you know, so let's not draw on to what could be going on in terms of grooming and the long drawn process that grooming is and the factors, how groomers find it so easy. What's the defining factors that you want to make? No, let's not make a talking point of that. Let's just talk this shit down, Phil, and let's just ban you, Phil, and ban anyone that wants to spread the message. Bullshit, pardon my French. We believe the Home Office now we're getting somewhere, okay? The Home Office. The Home Office commissioned the NRM. So this isn't a body that the police shouldn't take seriously. This isn't even an independent body that the police will go, well, why should we take any of your fucking conclusions seriously? Even that would be bad enough. No, this is a NRM was commissioned by the Home Office. So basically, they've now put out a story saying there's no evidence when the NRM has said, well, we've got at least one person that at least confirms there's evidence. You know what I'm saying? So to me, what you're about to see next is what I regard as the smoking gun that debunks the police's theory that there is no evidence as to grooming activity that has been going on and probably still going on in the Barrow in Furness area. We believe Home Office ordered police to investigate further, and police decided to prosecute her for false allegations. Now, to be fair, we've already heard a reason why she possibly may have been pulled in, but we don't know. Now, even a sister has queried why she wasn't arrested immediately. So we don't know. And to be fair, it's probably not wise to fill in the gaps until you actually do have a bigger picture. This is where the movement can get itself tied up in so many knots, because initially we all want to fill that void, don't we? We all want to make sure that we've got the whole story. So if we don't see a certain part of the narrative there, we'll just fucking fill it in. And this ain't no crossword. Now, I hope you can see this, guys. I hope you can see this, because this is the smoking gun, okay? So if you've got a way you can enlarge in your screen, enlarge it now, right? Right. Now, I'm going to have to, can I do it another way here? Because that is quite small for me to actually read at this moment in time. So I hope it's not too small for you, but I'm going to try and get round that now if I can. Just bear with me, guys. Because this is a massive document. Okay, right, I'm going to read it. NRM reference, your reference. Okay, dear Sir Stroke Madam, the single complainant authority has carefully considered your client's case. On the 25th of November 2019, which corroborates what that person said on that previous post, he said November, we said there were reasonable grounds to accept that your client, Ellie Ann Reynolds, may be a victim of modern slavery, brackets, human trafficking, and or slavery, servitude, or forced or compulsory labor. Now that sounds like you're in a fucking third world country, doesn't it? So the initial thought, you think then, how the fuck has she managed to gain the strength to see this out? And thank the frigging Lord that someone has took her seriously and has made it official that they've took her seriously. Because without that, the police would fob her off. How can the police fob off that top paragraph? We have now assessed their case in more detail, and based on the evidence we received, we decided there are conclusive grounds to accept they are a victim of modern fucking slavery. Okay? Now, pardon my French, because I'm sure you're well aware that they didn't say fucking. I said it. And I'm not apologizing for it, because when you read that, you know what I mean? When you read that, so I'm going to go to comments and then I'm going to go back. Hey up. What comments? I swear YouTube blocking might. Yeah, they might be, mate. I think I'm almost certain I'm shadow banned. I'm almost certain. I'm almost certain. I know it's happening. Now, I might be paranoid, but it don't mean to say it's not happening. Carbon dioxide poison is also banned by PooTube. Patreon. Yes, Nicky's on it. Nicky the Rocket, friggin' Lockett. Yes, Cockney Patriot. I know it's Mo. How you doing, Mo? The beat maker. Mo the beat maker. Make some fat ass beats. Weak liberal. Let's get this on. Bit of a juicy comment. Weak liberal government is failing our girls. The various departments of establishments seemingly don't know their ass from their elbows, and they contradict each other. No cohesive action. Well, you're right there. You're right. It's almost like they can't organise a piss up in the brewery. But what really smells sinister is when you smell cover-ups all the time. I remember they done that GMCA report into the grooming of Operation Augusta and another operation as well. They released part 1, promised to release part 2, and where the fuck is it? So you do feel that whether it's totally negligent or whether they just can't cope, whether it's because of PC, they don't want to start and create a riot. It's certainly because they hate the white race. I can't imagine they are self-loathing enough to allow what is deemed as majority white race in these cases for that to happen. I think abuse is abuse, and a blind eye is turned to all forms of abuse, innit? Fucking all forms. Whether it be Catholicism, whether it be just a pedo up the street. You know what I mean? In some ways it is. In some ways it's cracked down, you know? It's woeful that anyone has to live the life now, having gone through that. And what should really happen is the people that perpetrated that should no longer be here. What that means, well, that could be about as vague as the fucking corona guidelines. So get on that one, YouTube. Stick that in your algorithmic pipe and fucking smoke it. Pardon my French. Yes, Anne. How you doing? They can find manpower and funds to hit the streets and hold a protest against Trump with a Trump balloon. But grooming gangs, silence. It is the secret, innit? It does seem like, I mean, we can't say they're not trying to tackle it. You can't say they're not gaining some ground. You can't say they're not doing anything about it, because you do hear stories. So we've got to keep something in balance. But stories like this, where you hear of injuries and atrocious long-term abusive behavior, you wonder how it can go on. Now, same again, one thing I will say in terms of grooming, Billy, this is where Billy's missed it, because I'd love Billy to step in here. Billy has a real good theory when it comes to grooming. He feels, and I totally agree with him. Hold on, this might be him. Believe it or not, it might not be, but let's see what's he doing. Oh, no, we can't make it. We can't make it. Right, that's it. Well, Billy talks about grooming and what it is. Let's break it down what it is. Grooming is a persuasional, mental, psychological tool that is only inflicted by the perpetrator on people that they deem that are some way inferior or vulnerable or both. That's the only way it can work. Now, what Billy always says is that the police never take into the account a grooming process, as it's long drawn, as from the outside, it may look like a girlfriend and boyfriend. In some cases, there may be an element of consensuality about it, but you have to look deeper into the interactions to see. Now, does that mean grooming means that everyone who's in a domestic relationship is being groomed? Well, going off the COVID broad fucking guidelines. That's for the initial person who is a survivor of that domestic abuse to work out as to whether they are being groomed by still being in that situation, or whether they just haven't got the strength to move, whether the there's a multitude of reasons. It's not for me to put words in survivors' mouths. But the fact still remains, these guys know what they're doing. They befriend, they give presents, they bestow love and attention, and then before you know it, they turn into pimps. And that is the pattern that goes on that I've seen over and over again. And I've only seen a small percentage. You ask Billy. Billy covers this shit night and day. Pardon my French. A girl doesn't even know she is being groomed most of the time. They are too young and vulnerable to understand it, or it hasn't been explained to them, or don't think it could happen to them. Very good point. Very good point. Very good point. Who can? Because I guess you think you're in a normal relationship, and I guess you think, well, he's not happy with me. I guess you think, well, maybe I've done something wrong. Maybe I need to do this to get on his good books. And then maybe by the time you actually do realize and smell the coffee, maybe that's when it's too late. Maybe that's when you're getting threats because the acceleration of violence that's been kind of propagated against you. It's like, what? I can't tell no one. I can't even tell my mum. But maybe, in some cases, maybe they come from a dysfunctional family. So even if they go home and tell the mum will go, well, it's your own fault. Because you've got this lifestyle where you seem to be doing this, seem to be doing that. For all intents and purposes, it might be a cry for help. It might be a question of the girl has got nothing else. So that vacuum has appeared. And then that vacuum is exploited by people that turn into pimps that are posing as fucking boyfriends. And it's hard because I can only assume that if I had a guy around here that was treating my daughter like that, that's exactly what he's doing. There are many more than 60 plus watching. Probably, yeah. Yeah. Don't know. That wasn't a very nice comment. So I'm going to pretend Great Brit will be on that. But I'm sure he was trying to prove a point. But I hope he's not being malicious by doing that. Because I will remind everyone again, you've got 2 survivors named Ellie that we're talking about here. That ultimately I am bearing their soul on a fucking plate live. Okay. So when people are coming out with their own little theories, please bear that in mind. If this was your daughter, you wouldn't want people coming out with their own random little theories, yeah, and interjections that are about as freaking useful as a chocolate teapot. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to the actual stills, okay? Because I have got more. Where was I up to? Oh, shizzle on my nizzle. Where I were. Let's see if I can get rid of that comment. Really? Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because they shouldn't be behind there. You hear stories of kids that are manipulated. So I guess it's quite easy for you to assume that that's nefarious. It may not be. But at the same time, Matthew, you've got every reason to believe that. It's just sad that that's the kind of society that we live in now, that because of shit happens like this, pardon my French, that we now have to look, and we will stereotype, we will do this, we will look down on people, and we shouldn't, because we constantly have to keep redressing. Like the lovely Lewis Williams had to put there. She had to put at the bottom, this ain't about a whole race. This ain't about a whole religion. You know, she shouldn't have to put that. People should be going, yo, I don't give a fuck who done this. This is bad. And I know you ain't doing it for this reason, but the world we live in, you have to keep back, second, third, fourth, checking yourself. It's sad. Meanwhile, abuse is going on. Meanwhile, people are not listening. Still waiting for the report on grooming gangs. 126,600 signed the petition. And why? I think after 100,000, they're supposed to do something about it, aren't they? So unless they are, who knows? Yeah, you're right, Tina. They are tackling the victims and their relatives in the way that the perpetrators and their organizations are safe and calm. Yeah. Okay. Right. So let me get back. Let me just take that off a second. Right. Where are we? Okay. So now going back to the next lady who bravely come forward. Remember the NRM. This, what you're looking at now, this is a breakdown of what it actually means. And you can see, look, National Crime Agency. So this is a accredited governmental body, you know what I mean? And look, the police have just said, no, I'm sorry, but you've got this one wrong, yeah? You've got this one wrong. So what the police need to do then is come and out these guys, don't they, and say, well, this, you know, they've got this wrong, and let these two have it out, because I guarantee they won't. They won't. But anyway, moving on. Ellie Ann Reynolds basically has also uploaded several screenshots of conversations, I guess, between her and who she would probably pose as perpetrators, or at least people who were in on it as well. Okay. So you can see here, these ain't friendly conversations, you know, and you can tell with the way the person's speaking there's not much sentiment and feeling. It's like pimp speaking it. Pimp speak, you know, and she's trying to say here, you know, you're like me too when I was scared for my life, didn't you? You know, and he's put not scared. Oh, I wasn't scared. Was that because I was so drugged it didn't seem like that to you? And then he's put, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at this, I mean, if your daughter was having conversations with this, if this was your so-called fucking boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? And this, you know? So I'm not knocking this lady because I don't know the circumstances as to how she got with someone like this. And let's face it, this geezer could have been a right little fucking charmer at the beginning. Who knows? I don't know. It's not for me to make assumptions. All I know is what I'm seeing now. How malicious. But she's obviously woke up at this point. She's keeping him at arm's length. Well, that was probably due to all the drugs. Yeah. And look, now she's asking the drugs. And then she's put a thumbs up, say, yeah, nice one for that, you know. And then she's then put, because she wants to know now, tell me how you did it. And he's like, what? I don't know what you're on about. Don't know what you're on about. Don't know. Yeah. And look more. Now, I don't know whether these are out of sequence. It probably could be here at this point. Tell me what you remember about me and I'll talk. Look, you know, so you could tell there's no connection. Look, it's just horrible. Horrible. These are some other correspondence. Inviting her over. You coming over tonight? No, I can't. Yeah. You know, the guy tries to tease her, you know, and entice her by saying, I've got your mobile phone. If you come over, I just want to say sorry for what's happened. So, you know, I wonder what happened. You know, there's more of it there. Conversation goes on and on. Now, could you call this malicious correspondence? I don't know, malicious communications. Morally, got no fibre to it, certainly. Got no moral fibre at all. At all. Very sinister, and you can see that they've obviously got no feelings for the girl, this girl in particular, and pretty much probably every other girl that they encounter if this is the way they're playing it. It's nothing but pimp behaviour as far as I'm concerned. Now, this is another post that was just basically breaking it down, how different gangs from different areas, because people are gathering intel on this, whether the police like it or not. Even if the police want to hide it and, you know, kind of arrest people that want to talk about it, or arrest people that want to put posts up about things, you know, they can do all that if they want, but it doesn't stop other people, you know. No, don't let me down again. I'll make sure you don't get caught. It can be more trouble for you. Why will it be more trouble? Is that intimidation? You know what I mean? Look, Tyson, nice big amounts of money. How's she getting that amount of money? By doing what? What do you expect this lady to do? By coming 600 quid. So it's not answering any questions, but they are bizarre conversations that build to a bigger picture when you've got the MRM report that literally concludes that this individual that's showing these screenshots now is a victim of sexual exploitation, yeah, servitude, voluntary, involuntary labour, wrong, grooming. That's it. This one here, I told you I've not spoken to the police. Now, I'm not sure whether that was true, but this geezer's put back, okay, I'm going to call my solicitor. Well, you can phone your solicitor, but I'm sure these screenshots are not going to look good, particularly if it's the same number. If it'd be even worse if this is a different number that this lady's getting back in touch with. So this person has the audacity to say, and you need to delete all them texts I sent you. Why the fuck would she do that? Muppet. Pimp without a brain. You know what I'm saying? Pimp without a frigging brain. Look, the 600 plus more, you stupid, silly girl. You're not good girl. You're nothing, stupid, white, slutty, English trash. Remember that you're worth nothing. I mean nothing. Wait till I get my hands on you. I will make sure you're nothing. I will bomb your fucking home if you continue being disobedient. Fucking what? When I next see you, I'll chop your hair then. Yeah? Really? Yeah? Yeah. What the? Yeah. And this is a lady that it's happened to. One of the most courageous fucking ladies. And I've not even met her. Not even met her, but fair play to her. Fair play to her for having the balls not only to corroborate Ellie Williams' story, but to literally hold it up and own it herself and go, yeah, this is happening to me. This is happening to me. So the police, as far as I'm concerned, they've got no choice but to listen to this. I do think public opinion is going to really sway against them if they don't start to take this seriously. I do believe Maggie Oliver is involved. Personally, I would love to see the Baroness Cox involved in this. I think her credibility and what she is and what she represents as a professional would obviously help this campaign along tremendously. So this is someone who's got in touch with this lady as someone who can corroborate. I know she won't be okay for a while, but I'm praying for you and your family. I was raped when I was 12 by a 24 Asian man and trafficked to many places. I just want to hug you all. I understand she will no way want to talk to anyone, but maybe in a couple of months, even a year, I'm always here to talk. So obviously this lovely lady is there to support as well. So let me end it on this last slide. Yeah. After all that I've shown you, and I've tried to keep it as fair as possible, and I've tried to show it from poor choice of words, but from as much as the horse's mouth as possible as well. Yeah. So I'm not going to get myself in trouble. And what I've tried to do, I've tried to represent each individual survivor and the sister as well in a fair place, in a fair way, you know? And that's all I've tried to do. But having said that, look who isn't. What world do we live in? What world do we live in? What's going to be the consequences? You bring it on yourself. You bring in exacerbation from people on yourself as well, which then you could probably categorize people as being wrong-uns because they come out in outrage on the streets. So this is like one nice little psychological package, like wind you up, watch you go once they've released a cord, and then you get castigated for your actions of releasing the cord. But yeah, the reason why you released the cord is because you've been wound up. So it's like some mad psycho trick on the brain here. Yeah, that's a good point. Where's Esther Ransom when you need her? Yeah. Well, she works for the organisation, as it were, innit? So she'll be given the intel of not really to touch into these subjects too much. Because it does seem to be a hot potato, doesn't it? It does seem to be one of them subjects that anyone talks about, they skate across it. Anyone in the public domain skates right across it. They'll acknowledge it, but then want to go there because, oh, Jesus Christ, all of a sudden, because I'm talking about it, I'm now far right. No, you're not. But what you will do, you will encourage what is regarded as the far right to grab hold of this and treat it like a nice little fucking squeaky toy as if it was a dog. Yeah. Like, they'll grab hold of this and they will utilize it. And that's what you're going to do to normal, everyday people, that you're going to turn them far right. People will only keep the rationale for so long. Will only keep it. And why do I say that? Because it sounds like, bloody hell, Phil, aren't you jumping to conclusions? What makes you think that that's the case, Phil? Right. Well, let me tell you this, right? And I've got people that can confirm this, okay? I've had a number of subbers over the past 3 years that have literally shook me by the hand, met me, took photos with me, and told me how great my channel was. On at least 3 occasions, 2 of them are now posting Nazi memorabilia. Them same 2 are now openly saying that people like Red Pill Phil should be repatriated. Yeah. And the other one is staunchly in the hate Jew camp. Now, I'm 99% certain that when I first started the YouTube, those people wasn't there ideologically. They wasn't. With the kicks and the bad decisions that have led to more kicks and the infighting that has led to more kicks and then the polarization that has led to more kicks, it's kicked people to what I would regard as a more extreme position. Now, people like that are still going to follow things like this. They've got a right. It's up to them. It's up to them. It's what they'll bring with it. And then, same again, it's the big question for me is, what do survivors want? Do survivors want people like that? I don't know. You'd have to ask them. But I think anyone with a brain in the head who wants a likelihood of getting the message out to a wider public, I think they know that that's really not the cleverest way to go about it. And that's putting it mildly. Where are you? There you go, Laura. Yes, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. I'm not about to get in any fights with other commenters and other YouTubers when there's a survivor there. When I'm talking about Survivor, really? You know what I mean? It's just like redundant. Yeah, it's not just the police, it's social services and the Home Office where the failings are. Yeah, Aphrodite Blight said, you've got a point. I mean, same again. Same again. People would say there's failings all over. There is good departments that are really out for helping you within all them organizations. Just by very nature, you know, it's not a conspiracy. They're not all bad. They're not all there to hurt you. I guess what we're saying now, it's a lottery because a lot of people, if they've not got an element of corruption, they look the other way. So it's in a way they're complicit, which makes it just as bad. Some are career politicians, some are career minded and just want to go along to get along. So there's so many reasons why people turn a blind eye. We can't say ultimately that has failed, but what we can say, there are failings within it. And you're right, you are right within all of them. But we've got to remain the fact that there are good parts in it as well. Because if we do go off on this tangent that the whole system's broke, the failings everywhere, the police is fucked, the judiciary is fucked, you do sound like you've lost the plot. And that's not the case, because if something happened now, someone may get arrested, someone may go down. If someone was to viciously assault any one of us, the chances are, if it is banged to rights, then something would get done about it. So that is the good thing, although we can see the anomalies there. So I'm not trying to talk it back again, you know? I just think keeping that fair balance has got you a better chance of staying afloat and talking about this. I could talk about grooming with a lefter, and I have no problem with it, because I'll probably concede on some of their points, on their critique on why people talk about grooming. But then the way I'll be able to eloquently break that motherfucking shit down, pardon my French, that they'll be like, all right, I'll take it. I'll take it. There is a problem. There is a problem. Caucasians are being forced to protect their corner, defend their corner. Well, you know, I don't know whether I can say that. It might look like that from the outset. Abuse is abuse. I think that. I think abuse is abuse, and it's happening all over. Let's look at it another way. If you've got people within a certain community, the nasty element that are probably more radical than anything else with the way of thinking, to do that and dismiss anyone that's not of their faith. If they're prepared to do that to a white girl, then damn sure that they probably denigrate women in their own faith as well. So you've probably got survivors on both sides of the faith camp, the faith fence, if that's the case. And if you could kind of put a platform out and say, you know what, I've got your back, don't give a fuck. If you're Muslim, if you're Christian, if you're Catholic, fucking Hindu, if you're a fucking goat, even Ollie the goat in Rochdale, even, you know what I mean? Small number of activists, career politicians. Yes, I had a little social gathering with Nikki, the Rocket, Lockett, the other day in Phillips Park. We both met up and we both had a little ride in the park, and we had a good sit down interview, to which I will be breaking down and editing in the next few days. So sorry, Nicky, this kind of jumped in front of me, and I was supposed to be doing this stream with two other people, but you know, I've been left on my jackies, Anna. You know what I mean? Billy frigging no mates. I'm Billy Howarth. Poor goats. I know. I know. Does she know anything about it, AB? There are only 73 likes on here tonight. No idea. Yes, mate. Look forward to that. Should be good. It was fruity as ever. It was certainly fruity. And a lot of people were kind of just doing their own thing in the park as well, you know. So if there's any final questions, guys, I'm going to get going because I think my wife wants to watch some TV. So I'm going to have to leave her to watch her favourite programme. So I hope you've enjoyed the stream. Same again, I'd like to thank everyone who's helped me to get this intel in order to make this. We're talking Billy, we're talking Lindsay Brown, we're talking Great Brit, we're talking Cater. You know, you've all been fantastic. Nice little team there. Hopefully this has been presented in a balanced and rational way that's just getting the story out without talking about malice to anyone or anything other than perpetrators who do this shit. Pardon my French. And I'm not going to make any apologies for coming out like that against what I regard as dark energy. So, yes, I'm glad you've enjoyed it, guys. Thanks a lot. Make sure you grab a good evening. It's still lovely and light here. Make the most of it. You know, life is too short. And spare the thought. Yes, Candace, spare the thought for survivors who are in this situation. Thank you to both Ellies and to both families. Great Brit, you're an absolute gem, mate. If I wasn't married, and obviously if you wore high heels, I'd probably be getting on one knee right about now because I love the guy. I bleeding love him. But I've not even seen him. So it would be like a blind wedding. And there's every chance I might just run in the opposite direction once I clock his boat race. And I'm sorry, Great Brit, but someone had to say it. Yes, guys. So with that, I'm probably going to get trolled now by Great Brit. I'd love to say one last thing before I go. And like I say, look forward to future posts. Thanks a lot to all those who are sticking with the channel. I'm loving you all. You know I am.
I love you. 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 I love you.
Even the pissing haters.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.